What's up, guys? BC coming at you just hours away from Smackdown 110.25. I would like to tell you I have a full preview for you guys, but WWE have not sent out a lot on this show. No promotional, no marketing, only one match as of the recording of this upload. But we are hearing a few other things that are supposed to take place. So, because I do expect this upload to go out before SmackDown, we will talk a little bit about this card. Of course, tomorrow, stay locked on the channel. I will have the full amplified review for my unit. But in this upload, we'll touch base on SmackDown for tonight. We're also going to talk Gunther's trajectory for WrestleMania. We all know that as of late, Gunther's booking has been scattered, right? Nobody knows if he's a full throttle heel or face or a tweener. And then we heard that weird match being discussed for WrestleMania, Sethington, Rollins, Gunther. It didn't make sense, obviously. Is that the money match? Is that the one that makes the most sense? Is it intriguing? Is it fun for everybody? The good news is that's no longer being discussed, or at least not to our knowledge. The bad news is now what is on the table within the walls of World Wrestling Entertainment for Gunther and WrestleMania, it somehow got even worse. We're going to talk about it. You guys may have heard already, some of you guys. And I can't even fathom it, right? It's like you first see it and your first instinct is, of course, that's there's no truth to that at all, right? But then it's double sourced, and then multiple sites pick up on it that are pretty reputable, and you start to think, wait a second, there's no way this can be talked about. We'll discuss. It just, you know what? Maybe they'll throw Sethington and it'll make this a weird triple threat. Who knows? We'll try to make sense of Malakai and his situation with AEW. We have the Dynamite rating for you guys. VKM, big news on Kennedy McMahon. VKM looking at this news as a good thing, as a victory. And the SEC was like, not so fast, boss. So we're going to talk all this, guys. No need to go, or no time actually, to go to an opening signature. So we're just going to get right into it. BC doesn't even have a coffee right now. After this upload, I got to rush out and double fist a couple of coffees. Probably get a Dunkin' Extra and maybe a pistachio latte over at Starbucks. I don't know. I'm already future thinking about my coffees, man. But it's not often we do an amped up or an upload in general without a coffee. But that's how pressed we are for time. I'm just glad I was able to get this time to do this for you guys, man. And get this out hopefully before SmackDown. So let's touch base on that first. SmackDown tonight, the only thing advertised as of this recording is Shinsuke Nakamura defending the championship against the U.S. championship against LA Knight. And this is one of those matches where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Would not have booked it. Shinsuke obviously cannot lose. Dude did not get back that long ago. You put the title on him. You made your bed. Now you got to lie in it. He's got to have a title reign now. Because the only other option is you hot potato that, right? You flip-flop it. And you just throw it back to LA. So what did he lose it for in the first place to break up his title reign? It doesn't make any sense. Shinsuke would have to somehow take this matchup in LA, somehow save face. So I say you go for a grand slam. Alexa Bliss is coming back imminently, right? She's either going to come back as number 30 as the golden hair surprise, old school Alexa, and enter the Royal Rumble. I don't see WWE or Hunter having her win it anyway, but you can get that golden hair surprise, okay. Or you can get the Wyatt Alexa, right? Twisted Alexa, Sister Abigail-ish. But with the booking of the Wyatts right now, I wouldn't even want that to occur. And that sucks to say, guys, because I put Bray on the highest of pedestals. You guys know that. I wanted the utmost of success for the Wyatt 6. I really wanted this to work. I still want it to. But Hunter they have to come to terms on what are the Wyatts doing? What are they even... When they're not on the show, which is often, I don't even think about it. And that's the problem, right? You want to go, hey, the Wyatts weren't on this one. Can't wait till they, show up, because maybe Hunter's like, it's an act that you can't have every week. Okay, so when you do have the Wyatts, you better have something huge planned. You can't start them into a storyline with like Final Testament, and then after a month or two, you just throw them all in the ring, all 8 dudes. It's the payoff, because this is what it is, faction versus faction, middle of a Monday Night Raw, and the leader of the Wyatts just gets beaten because of baby powder. That's the type of booking we're dealing with. And ever since, guys, nothing has happened. Dexter Lumis had a one-on-one match with Miz, and I can't tell you anything else. They already don't know what they're doing or how to book Nikki Cross, who's a female in that group. What is adding Alexa? I understand. I loved Bray and Alexa together. And if Bray was still here, I'd be the first one to say when Alexa returns, unite them again. Because it was so damn good. Don't believe me? Go back to that WrestleMania a few years ago. Bray versus Randy Orton. The loudest pop of the night when Alexa's up on that Jack in a Box. And Bray turns around and the crowd electric. I know, I understand. Alexa with the Wyatts. And it's what BC was calling for. But seeing what we see now with the Wyatts and knowing that Hunter is completely lost with them, I say throw Alexa with Shinsuke. 2 birds with 1 stone. Shinsuke needs not just a mouthpiece, but a manager. If you're going to have this heel Shinsuke, it's going to be no different than before he took the time off. And he was doing all these good vignettes, speaking in Japanese, and you had the captions, and it was good for what it was. But they were not able to take him to that next level. A good manager, and one that can kick ass and have matches herself, would not hurt. Alexa Bliss. I know it's a wild card, but I'm saying if you're going to throw her with the Wyatts anyway, where is that going? They don't even know how to utilize the members they have now. So adding more is not the problem for the Wyatts. They don't know what they're doing with them. They have to put the time and effort into them now, and then you can start thinking about adding another. Shinsuke needs somebody now. LA needs a way to lose this match. Alexa shows up, kick to the balls, whatever you gotta do. Everybody is stunned. Alexa aligned herself with Shinsuke, and that way you get like a sinister, right? Kind of a twisted Alexa. We still get semblances of that character. It's not just the golden hair surprise. Shinsuke got a little bit more sinister and twisted, diabolical. So is Alexa. And by the way, that's just one option, guys, right? If you're not totally sold on Alexa with a Shinsuke, then my point is just kind of broaden out a little bit. Think outside the box. Don't just think of Alexa as, okay, she's going to be the golden hair surprise here, or she's going to be a Wyatt character. No, there can be shades of gray with this. You could try new things, man. A little bit of both. You know, play that darker side, but try it with Shinsuke. Maybe it'll help Shinsuke and Alexa and elevate others in the process. And for tonight, it's a way for LA to take this L. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, obviously. This is like amplified booking. Like if I had the creative pen, I'm going to start thinking uniquely, right? Start doing some interesting concepts in my dome piece and jotting things down, seeing what sticks and seeing what might work. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. But I'm hoping that Hunter and WWE is thinking of these things, right? How do we finish this match? How do we make LA look good, but Shinsuke still has to hold his championship? You know, and it can't be something stupid like a fruit roll-up or a DQ, because that's not creative. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it, guys. If Alexa's coming back imminently anyway, and they're kind of, the whole point is they don't know how to bring back Alexa, right? That's the stories we're hearing. Becky Lynch, Charlie Flair, Alexa Bliss. Hunter literally does not know where to place them and when to bring them back. Well, this is a good opportunity to try something new. Don't just swing for the double or the triple, swing for the home run. Also tonight, that's the only advertised matchup or anything as of this recording. We are hearing that Chelsea Green will be defending her newly won Women's United States Championship tonight, or at least having a match with Michin. That has not been confirmed as of this recording. That is what I was hearing before we started recording. So just take that with a grain of salt, but don't be totally shocked if you guys were to see Michin and Chelsea yet again. And this is what I mean about Hunter's booking. It's just like VKM used to do. He gets in this rut where just doesn't want to or cannot be creative, so he just gives us the same matches, and he hopes that we call this a storyline. So the storyline, and again, this started with VKM years ago. The storyline is they wrestle all the time. The storyline is they brawl all the time. That's not a story. That's just two dudes or two gals fighting all the time. It's no different than siblings growing up or a couple of youngsters in kindergarten. It's fighting. That's all it's not a story. So I'm not on board with Chelsea and Michin, but they knocked it out of the park several months ago in that dumpster match. So I know they can work well with one another. What's the purpose? What's the meaning? What's the creative behind it? What is it going to lead to? What happens in this match or after the match that makes us care about it? And what happens next? Even without the coffee, BC's rocking right now, dude. It's probably because I already had about 9. I've already had a bunch, a couple of handfuls. And what else tonight? Cody Rhodes is going to probably call out Kevin Owens or something. Get creative. Have Kevin Owens want Cody to come into the parking lot. He wants to talk to him in the car, though. Remember what he did with Michael Cole, and he's been cutting these promos in the car? How interesting would that be? Cody's in the ring, and all of a sudden, Kevin Owens shows up on the Tron, and he's like, well, I'm in the car. You can come find me. Take Cody to the car, and then have fun there. There's so much you could do. Maybe Solo and the boys are pissed off that they're blaming Cody for Solo losing the Oompa Loompa. So they drive up, and you could do something really cool in the parking lot. Because it's not going to be done with Solo and the boys and Cody anyway. And they're probably just going to have Kevin and Cody brawl again, right? A pull them apart brawl. So have some fun. Go out into the lot. So much you can do. Utilize what you've been doing with Kevin Owens in the parking lot and in his car. Have him, summons Cody. Cody's so enraged. Cody's like, all right, I'll go out there. So I just hope they do something fun and they just don't have them say words and then pull them apart, brawl. It's like we've seen this for months, week after week, show after show. But that is what we are hearing. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens are supposed to have some type of segment tonight. Tiffany Stratton, what do you do with her? Does Nia Jax want an immediate rematch? Are we going to set up Charlie Flair and Tiffany immediately? These are questions that Hunter has to answer for himself first and foremost, and he's been playing Mr. Netflix spokesperson, so I don't know how much time and effort has been put into this show, guys. BC might be putting more time and effort into the creative than they are, but I'm just telling you, that's everything on tap for SmackDown. Only one announced match. Everything else we just talked about is just what was being discussed before I went live with this recording. So I don't know if Tiffany will show up or Cody, or if you will get the Chelsea Green Michin match. But if you do, that's my thoughts on it. No matter what happens on this show tomorrow or within the next 24 hours, make sure you guys are locked on this channel. I will give you a no BS full throttle amplified review of tonight's SmackDown. Let's move on, though. I got a few other stories before I do have to call it quits on this upload, and today's amped up. I'll go right to the big story. This is Gunther and his WrestleMania 41 opponent. Gunther's booking, to say the least, has been scattered. I've said it so many times. He's shaking all the faces' hands, but he's talking crap to them as well. He's dressed up all sophisticated like he's going to a nice high-rise restaurant, and then all of a sudden he's dressed up in jeans trying to be more relatable. He's talking crap to the crowd, then he kind of panders to the crowd. And then we hear this weird WrestleMania match with Sethington Rollins was being talked about, to which BC said why would you even... That's not fun for anybody. Seth versus Gunther. What? Of all the people. At that point, oddly put in Punk, which at this point doesn't make sense, but he wants the championship. He wants a main event, so you could make it make sense. But the way Gunther's being booked, at this point, nothing makes sense. So that has to be fixed and corrected first. But Sethington Rollins and Gunther, that was just so odd, and I did make a plea over to WWE. There's still time. Think about this, please, and then stop thinking about it. So the good news is they did. We're not hearing about this matchup anymore. But as of just a few hours ago, there's a new match being talked about. I wanted to just throw this to the wayside like this is just absolute, just a BS story that's out there. But no, man, sites, reputable ones, have been talking that this is being discussed within the walls of WWE. And that is a matchup between champion Gunther and Logan Paul for the title at WrestleMania 41 Las Vegas. Logan Paul Gunther makes even less sense than Rollins Gunther. The problem with this, too, is I know for BC, and I know I cannot be the only one on this, this isn't even a match where I can at least say, it doesn't make sense. Oh, I can't really envision it, but it's going to be fun. Right? Like, if you see, like, AJ Styles and Logan Paul, it's like, what? But damn, that's going to be good. I said that about Roman and Logan. I said, damn, that's going to be good, man. The things Randy Orton and Logan Paul, right? Gunther and Logan. Logan is this high-flying, risk-taking son of a bitch. And Gunther's just this old-school kind of mat game dude. I don't even know about technician, but Gunther's a little bit of old-school, old bread on many different types of past wrestling sectors. You mix up the two. It's never a match that I would say Gunther Logan. Not saying it wouldn't be good, but how do you sit in this boardroom and all the writers and all the execs for WWE and you're going over WWE's WrestleMania card and that's what somebody suggests and then more people go, I like it. That's another conversation. Let's just talk about it making sense. Logan is retiring just a few weeks ago. That's what he said anyway, right? On his little podcast, he's like, dude, no way, I'm retired. Now, we took it tongue in cheek, right? Because then moments later, he's like, no way, I'm taking time off now. Which is it? But he did say the words, I'm retired. So that made you know right there that there's no discussion for him to come back and have a match anytime soon. Then all of a sudden, weeks later, we're supposed to just give Logan a call and go, by the way, you're going in the main event for the championship at Mania? Guys, you got to make it make sense, man. What has Logan done to get a championship title match in the main event of Mania? You can't do that. Well, BC, he got the title match with Roman, and you said that was okay. Yes, that was Saudi. That was no harm, no foul. It was a B, even C-list event put on in the middle of the day. They could have done that without even being televised. Or PPV, PLE, whatever you want to call it. They could have done that without even showing it. That could have just been for Saudi. But it was aired for everybody. I looked at that as an exhibition. We all knew Roman wasn't dropping that anytime soon. And Logan and Roman was pretty badass at that time. This is not that scenario, bro. This is WrestleMania. This is the time where Gunther has to drop the title. It's the perfect time because Gunther needs to move on to something, and then that new champion has to start his journey. Because Gunther as champion, wow, has he done absolutely jack shit. Sadly. I'm just, what? I gotta be honest with you, man. You know what I mean? The only thing I remember is him beating Randy, shaking his hand, and then losing to Cody and shaking his hand. And that's all I remember, guys. That's all I got for you. It's time at WrestleMania. And I'm telling you right now, it ain't Logan Paul that should be taking it. But Hunter really is big on Logan. And Logan's got this big Netflix deal just like Jake Paul. And he's about to have a big fight, right? Who is he taking on? I forgot. Logan's fighting, so he's got this Netflix deal. Hunter could be in cahoots with the Netflix execs and really high on Logan to the point where he wants to put his title on Logan Paul. This could be a Hunter decision that he will not change his mind on. It's possible, and it's the wrong one, and we all know that. But I'm just letting you guys know before this gets a little carried away like a wildfire. Gunther and Logan is being discussed. So the good news is it's no longer Gunther and Sethington. The bad news is now Logan is. Maybe this is their way to keep doing or to still go with Seth and Gunther. But to show us, see, careful, because we could give you an even worse match. So you're going to want Seth and Gunther. I don't know, man. Oh, I don't want to talk in circles, man. That's the report. Gunther Logan is being talked about. Let's hope it's just being talked about. And then it's immediately... like, you know, those conversations, you say, you had the conversation, and then you just throw it away and you never revisit it. That's what we're hoping. Never revisit that. Hunter and WWE. Let's move on. We'll stick WWE, then we'll go AEW, because I want to hit the VKM story first. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has settled with the SEC filings, and he is ordered now from the SEC to pay. It's a settlement, so this means all parties agreed on this. And Vince, this is a victory for Vince because this is no longer a headache for him. This part of it, anyway. There's many more parts to this that's going to be a headache for Vince. But this part of it, once you settle, that's it. And SEC is having Vince pay back $1.3 to $1.7 million back to WWE, and a penalty, a fine of $400,000, $400K. So a big financial hit, but for Vinnie Mac, slap on the wrist. It's a few $100 for Vinnie Mac. He paid more than this to some of the ladies that he had file or sign NDAs on. So, I mean, let's be honest. Vince was probably like, what? That's it? Settled. So VKM actually sent out like a statement, like basically telling everybody, see, all of this, he didn't use the word like witch hunt or anything like that, but all of this, and it was all for nothing. It all came down to he used like the words, it all came down to a minor, what'd he say? Like an accountant error or a clinical error or something, right? Just a numbers error, basically. And so he made it sound like it was absolutely nothing when I believe it was two separate signatures for 10 point, right? So he got two ladies to sign these NDAs for $10.5 million. And it was pretty much on the company's dime. So they were personal payments, but somehow infiltrated with the company. So that's $10.5 million. I would think that's a little bit of a clerical error. But Vince made it sound so minuscule, and that all of this is now behind him, and it's all finished, and Vince can come back to WWE. I mean, that's how his statement sounded. It was really funny. And so the SEC released a statement back, and they're like, hold up, this is the deal. And it was like multi-paragraph. I don't even have the time for that, man. I don't have to read 4 or 5 paragraphs. It was like dead paragraphs. No, thank you. So that was funny. SEC's like, no, hold up. That's not what's going on. Janelle Grant's lawyer then sent out a statement saying this is, we're going to keep... if anything, the SEC proved that all of that was indeed true, and we're going to keep on with the investigation and present our new evidence. And so Janelle Grant and their team is not stepping back at all from their side of it. That's all I'm going to say on it, guys. That's it's a little bit of an update. It's a big win for VKM. It is. That's no matter how you dice it, man. When you can settle on any of what VKM is involved with right now, when you can settle on that, the VKM will throw it like a strip club, man. Like only the dollar bills are thousands, right? Not that there's $1,000 bills. That would be pretty cool. You got to be super rich if you're whipping out a bill that's $1,000. Imagine that. I wanted to bring back the $2 bill. Remember the $2? Yeah, back in the day, way back, there was $2 bills, man. But Vince is whipping out thousands, man. Who needs it? Oh, yeah, this case is closed. That's closed. That's closed. So it's a big W for VKM, but it's far. I think some people are thinking this means everything is done. Vince is coming back any moment now. Oh, no, hide under the bed. Vince ain't coming back. There's still a lot more, unfortunately for Vince, that he is going to have to tackle in the future. But he's going to try to settle and try to nullify all of that, just like he was able to do here. Switch over to All Elite Wrestling. Little update on Malakai, or no update at all. Malakai, nobody is saying anything. Over the last 48 hours, it broke out that Malakai is WWE bound. People are thinking, can he show up in the Rumble? Is there a no-compete clause? Then others are saying, well, he's not quite done with AEW yet. He still has time, but Tony Khan is not being clear on when he is able to. Tony Khan's not saying, nobody's saying anything. That's the problem. Once this news broke, everybody tried to reach out. Check this out, guys. Nobody is saying anything, and with most knowledge to the situation, most don't even know anything. That's the oddest part in all of this. It's not just people are not saying anything because, they gave their word to Tony. They don't even know what's going on with Malakai. After all this time, you don't know anything? That's the weirdest part in all of this. And I just go back to like Miro and others. It's like, how does it get, like Ricky Starks is such a mysterious thing. Like, what happened between Ricky Starks and Tony Khan? What happened with Miro and Tony Khan? Like, they just disappear into the abyss. At least when they were disgruntled in WWE with Vincent Kennedy, they would go on their socials and like tell you they're disgruntled, right? I remember Brody did that. Rusev, Miro, FTR. They were just like, there'd be a Raw on live. They're still contracted with WWE, and they're like, I want out of this place or something. Here, they just like, do they go into a cave? Tony's like, we'll come back for you when it's time. Can we just have some more water? They just go into the abyss. Malakai, I wish I had more of an update. The update I have for you is nobody's saying anything. Most don't even know anything. And as of this recording, Tony Khan and Malakai haven't said a word. We'll see. AEW Dynamite this week pulled in 615,000 viewers. I know that sounds really low. It is. But I always tell you guys, baby steps. As long as you're going in the right trajectory and right direction, listen, small W's, small victories. And this was, 27,000 more viewers than last week. 588 last week, 615 this week. Their 10-week average is 595. So over the last 2.5 months, they're still below 6. They were at about 797,000 last year at this time. So they are approximately 185,000 viewers less than last year at this time, and approximately 240,000 or 280,000 from 2 years ago at this time, nearly 300. So they have a very big hole to dig out of, but to see 27,000 people jump on board, if you carry that, if you're able to just get 25,000 for the next 4 weeks, guys, you once again are hovering over 700. Baby steps, crawl, walk, run, as Mox. All right, guys, that's what I got for you on this Amped Up for Friday, 1/10/24. Hopefully it is a good show tonight, SmackDown. I will be discussing it, as I said, on tomorrow's review. Smash that up if you haven't already. I appreciate that. Does indeed help out the algorithm. Until next time, there will be that next time. BC in the unit saying check you 44 Dav. That's a wrap. Salute.